Unity is strength. Make we reason. Make we talk. If we see corruption in any shape or form, we're going to highlight it. Make we talk. Jeffrey Tavares represents yard and broad and the entire diaspora. As long as it affects the life of our nation, uncover the truth, make we reason, make we talk. And we don't care about no vumva viva va, no upper echelon, nobody is not above the law. As long as it now help Jamaica, make we talk. Make we talk. Unity is strength. Make we reason. Make we talk. If we see corruption in any shape or form, we're going to highlight it. Make we talk. Jeffrey Tavares represents yard and broad and the entire diaspora. As long as it affects the life of our nation, uncover the truth, make we reason, make we talk. And we don't care about no vumva viva va, no upper echelon, nobody is not above the law. As long as it now help Jamaica, make we talk. Make we talk. Unity is strength. Make we reason. Make we talk. If we see corruption in any shape or form, we're going to highlight it. Make we talk. Jeffrey Tavares represents yard and broad and the entire diaspora. As long as it affects the life of our nation, uncover the truth, make we reason, make we talk. And we don't care about no vumva viva va, no upper echelon, nobody is not above the law. As long as it now help Jamaica, make we talk. Make we talk. Unity is strength. Make we reason. Make we talk. If we see corruption in any shape or form, we're going to highlight it. Make we talk. Jeffrey Tavares represents yard and broad and the entire diaspora. As long as it affects the life of our nation, uncover the truth, make we reason, make we talk. And we don't care about no vumva viva va, no upper echelon, nobody is not above the law. As long as it now help Jamaica, make we talk. Make we talk. Unity is strength. Make we reason. Make we talk. If we see corruption in any shape or form, we're going to highlight it. Make we talk. Jeffrey Tavares represents yard and broad and the entire diaspora. As long as it affects the life of our nation, uncover the truth, make we reason, make we talk. And we don't care about no vumva viva va, no upper echelon, nobody is not above the law. As long as it now help Jamaica, make we talk. Make we talk. Unity is strength. Make we reason. Make we talk. If we see corruption in any shape or form, we're going to highlight it. Make we talk. Jeffrey Tavares represents yard and broad and the entire diaspora. As long as it affects the life of our nation, uncover the truth, make we reason, make we talk. And we don't care about no vumva viva va, no upper echelon, nobody is not above the law. As long as it now help Jamaica, make we talk. Make we talk. Unity is strength. Make we reason. Make we talk. If we see corruption in any shape or form, we're going to highlight it. Make we talk. Jeffrey Tavares represents yard and broad and the entire diaspora. As long as it affects the life of our nation, uncover the truth, make we reason, make we talk. And we don't care about no vumva viva va, no upper echelon, nobody is not above the law. As long as it now help Jamaica, make we talk. Make we talk. Unity is strength. Make we reason. Make we talk. If we see corruption in any shape or form, we're going to highlight it. Make we talk. Jeffrey Tavares represents yard and broad and the entire diaspora. As long as it affects the life of our nation, uncover the truth, make we reason, make we talk. And we don't care about no vumva viva va. No upper echelon. Nobody's not above the law. As long as it now help Jamaica. Make we talk. Make we talk. Unity is strength. Make we reason. Make we talk. If we see corruption in any shape or form, we're going to highlight it. Make we talk. Jeffrey Tavares represents yard and broad and the entire diaspora. As long as it affects the life of our nation, uncover the truth. Make we reason. Make we talk. And we don't care about no vumva viva va. No upper echelon. Nobody's not above the law. As long as it now help Jamaica. Make we talk. Make we talk.
Good evening. We're listening, watching from around the world and the Eastern Caribbean. This is the Make We Talk program with yours truly, Jeffrey Tavares. Tonight we're going to speak to Bishop Harold Blair Jr., Member of Parliament and Opposition Spokesperson and National Security, Mr. Fitzjackson. Our topic tonight: state judicial killing. Why is the church so silent in Jamaica? We're going to speak about that tonight. But in the meantime, I just want to say to you all tonight that stay tuned. It's going to be an exciting program. We know we have people from all over the globe watching us. We know we have family members and friends in Zimbabwe, family members and friends all the way in Kenya, Nairobi, Kenya, South Africa. I want to say good night to Ambassador Andy Mashaili of Interpol, former ambassador of Interpol, Andy Mashaili over there in South Africa, who is logged on watching us. Good night or good afternoon to you, Ambassador. Want to say good afternoon to all those in the New York Tri-State area, all those here in South Florida, those in the Cayman Islands, my family over there in the Cayman Islands, my extended family, Dr. Stephen Tony Tomlinson, and of course, Lady Eva Tomlinson. Good evening to you all. Good evening to my family and friends in Jamaica. I know a lot of people don't like when I speak about what is going on in my country, Jamaica, but we have to speak about it. We have to decide what we truly want. Do we want to leave a Jamaica for children, or do we want to leave a Jamaica that is not for children? The time has come for Jamaicans to stand up and speak out for what is going on in our country. We're not a member from the political party. We're Jamaicans. And Jamaica come first for all of us. So tonight, as we await the arrival of Bishop Harold Blair Jr. and also Member of Parliament and Opposition Spokesperson and National Security, Mr. Fitzjackson, they'll be coming on at 8 p.m. Jamaica time. But in the meantime, we're just going to chat up some stuff and talk about what is going on in the land of wood and water. The land of wood and water. We came on last night and we spoke about the issue of how the police are treating the Jamaican citizenry as if they are blackbirds. We spoke about the Prime Minister telling the police that what they need to do for those who are out there in the society is either you meet a judge or meet your maker. And that's what is going on from ever since in this country. The late Hugh Lawson Shearer once said, shoot and ask question after. Now you hear this Minister of National Security is saying the same thing. Where is the justice for the poor class of Jamaicans in this country? Many of you are saying that the churches are silent. Many of you are saying that the churches has nothing to say in what is going on in this country. But I want you to listen to something here. Where Prophet or Apostle Jeffrey Shuttleworth, I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly, who said something profound. That all of us must take a stand and look into what he's saying. As Jamaicans, we must not be a part of any political elite. But as Jamaicans, we must speak out for the fundamental rights of we the Jamaican people. And so, my fellow Jamaicans, as we come on air tonight, let us be a part of a system, a part of a movement that seek justice for the people of our country, that seek changes for the people of this nation. Let us be a part of a movement that say we are one Jamaican. Not a movement that say we are PNP or JLP, but a movement that say we do care for our nation Jamaica and our people Jamaicans. And so, my fellow Jamaicans, whether you live in the diaspora or you live in Jamaica, whether you live in South Africa, where Ambassador Andy Mashile is, or you live in Zimbabwe, or you live in Nairobi, Kenya, or you live in Ethiopia, we must come together and form a great union for this Jamaica land we love. For far too long, police killing has been going on in this country, and we have been silent on it. The time has come for us to act. Not only talk a good talk, but to act. And to say to the powers may be that we will not stand by anymore. That we will not sit down anymore. And have the police officers shooting down our black citizens, our black people, as if they are blackbirds. As I said last night, how many more Jamaicans must die by the hands of the police officers in this country? How many more Jamaicans must be murdered in this country? How many more? And so tonight, as we come on air, my fellow Jamaicans, I ask of you for one thing. One thing and one thing only. Is to come together. Let us form a perfect union. A union that demands the government of the people, for the people, and by the people. That is what we need to form in this country. I want to say good evening to all those in the chat room. Good evening to you. Like, share, and subscribe. Share up this live feed and like up the live feed. Share up this live feed and like up the live feed. We must form a perfect union. A union in which we must stand up for this God-given right land that we call Jamaica. A union in which all of us must put Jamaica first and not a political party. A union in which all of us must come together. If Miss Matty's son is gone down by the police, we must come together and demand justice. That's what I'm talking about. And so, my fellow Jamaicans, from Negril Point to Moran Point, to Galena Head Mountain to Blue Mountain Peak, to Drunker Head Mountain to Dolphin Head Mountain, let one single thing ring out. Let our voice ring out in one accord, that we demand justice in this country for the poor class of Jamaicans. That we must demand it. That we must say to the powers may be, no more. Not one single Jamaican must be gunned down by the security forces in this country. No more. Because I say to you tonight, if it was a member of the effluence of society in this country, from Cherry Garden or Norbrook, the politicians will have a press conference long time. The Prime Minister of this country will have a press conference along with the Minister of National Security and the Commissioner of Police. It was a member of the people of the Vumvavan, the Vumvaveen. But because this young lady who they dubbed her Buju is from the ghetto of Norbrook, they're silent. But I say to the people of this country, we must not be silent. We, the Jamaican people, must not be silent. We must demand accountability. We cannot be silent anymore. We cannot be silent anymore. I want to say good evening to my good friend, the fireman himself, Conrad O'Brien. I hope he's going to call in this evening and maybe I can give him the link for him to come on too. We don't know yet. But we must demand accountability in this country. Whether we be PNP or JLP, we the people of this country must say to the powers may be, we will not allow you to kill one more Jamaican citizen. And those who were at the scene, those police officers who were at the scene, must be held accountable. They must be held accountable. They cannot be. But one person is taken on frontline duty. What should they investigate? You took up the gun, man. You took up the gun, the taxpayer's gun, and you fired into the vehicle, killing the young lady. And you're still out free, pending what investigation? Jamaicans, it cannot be because it's not at your doorstep, you're quiet. It cannot be because you are at your, it is not at your doorstep, you're quiet. You don't business with it. But when it reaches your doorstep, you need people to help you. In which modern democracy can this happen and the people is so quiet? Only in Jamaica. In which modern democracy the security forces can fire a bullet into a citizen's car and the Minister of National Security, and quite frankly no peace, says nothing about it. I am being told they're going to have a press conference tomorrow. We'll bring that live to you on the Make We Talk program. And we'll analyze it too. But the time has come, Jamaicans, that we must demand justice for those Jamaicans who was gunned down by the security forces. One moment for me, please. I may have to take a quick commercial break here. Just a moment here, please.
Unity is strength. Make we reason. Make we talk. If we see corruption in any shape or form, we're going to highlight it. Make we talk. Jeffrey Tavares represents yard and broad and the entire diaspora. As long as it affects the life of our nation, uncover the truth. Make we reason. Make we talk. And we don't care about no vumva viva va. No upper echelon. Nobody is not above the law. As long as it not help Jamaica. Make we talk. Make we talk. Unity is strength. Make we reason. Make we talk. If we see corruption in any shape or form, we're going to highlight it. Make we talk. Jeffrey Tavares represents yard and broad and the entire diaspora. As long as it affects the life of our nation, uncover the truth, make we reason, make we talk. And we don't care about no vumva viva va, no upper echelon, nobody is not above the law. As long as it not help Jamaica, make we talk. Make we talk. Unity is strength. Make we reason. Make we talk. If we see corruption in any shape or form, we're going to highlight it. Make we talk. Jeffrey Tavares represents yard and broad and the entire diaspora. As long as it affects the life of our nation, uncover the truth, make we reason, make we talk. And we don't care about no vumva viva va, no upper echelon, nobody is not above the law. As long as it not help Jamaica, make we talk. Make we talk. Unity is strength. Make we reason. Make we talk. If we see corruption in any shape or form, we're going to highlight it. Make we talk. Jeffrey Tavares represents yard and broad and the entire diaspora. As long as it affects the life of our nation, uncover the truth, make we reason, make we talk. And we don't care about no vumva viva va, no upper echelon, nobody is not above the law. As long as it not help Jamaica, make we talk. Make we talk. Unity is strength. Make we reason. Make we talk. If we see corruption in any shape or form, we're going to highlight it. Make we talk. Jeffrey Tavares represents yard and broad and the entire diaspora. As long as it affects the life of our nation, uncover the truth, make we reason, make we talk. And we don't care about no vumva viva va, no upper echelon, nobody is not above the law. As long as it not help Jamaica, make we talk. Make we talk. Unity is strength. Make we reason. Make we talk. If we see corruption in any shape or form, we're going to highlight it. Make we talk. Jeffrey Tavares represents yard and broad and the entire diaspora. As long as it affects the life of our nation, uncover the truth, make we reason, make we talk. And we don't care about no vumva viva va, no upper echelon, nobody is not above the law. As long as it not help Jamaica, make we talk. Make we talk. Unity is strength. Make we reason. Make we talk. If we see corruption in any shape or form, we're going to highlight it. Make we talk. Jeffrey Tavares represents yard and broad and the entire diaspora. As long as it affects the life of our nation, uncover the truth, make we reason, make we talk. And we don't care about no vumva viva va, no upper echelon, nobody is not above the law. As long as it not help Jamaica, make we talk. Make we talk. Unity is strength. Make we reason. Make we talk. If we see corruption in any shape or form, we're going to highlight it. Make we talk. Jeffrey Tavares represents yard and broad and the entire diaspora. As long as it affects the life of our nation, uncover the truth, make we reason, make we talk. And we don't care about no vumva viva va, no upper echelon, nobody is not above the law. As long as it not help Jamaica, make we talk. Make we talk. Unity is strength. Make we reason. Make we talk. If we see corruption in any shape or form, we're going to highlight it. Make we talk. Jeffrey Tavares represents yard and broad and the entire diaspora. As long as it affects the life of our nation, uncover the truth, make we reason, make we talk. And we don't care about no vumva viva va. No upper echelon, nobody's not above the law. As long as it now help Jamaica, make we talk. Make we talk. Unity is strength. Make we reason. Make we talk. If we see corruption in any shape or form, we're going to highlight it. Make we talk. Jeffrey Tavares represents yard and broad and the entire diaspora. As long as it affects the life of our nation, uncover the truth, make we reason, make we talk. And we don't care about no vumva viva va, no upper echelon, nobody's not above the law. As long as it now help Jamaica, make we talk. Make we talk. Unity is strength. Make we reason. Make we talk. If we see corruption in any shape or form, we're going to highlight it. Make we talk. Jeffrey Tavares represents yard and broad and the entire diaspora. As long as it affects the life of our nation, uncover the truth, make we reason, make we talk. And we don't care about no vumva viva va, no upper echelon, nobody's not above the law. As long as it now help Jamaica, make we talk. Make we talk. Unity is strength. Make we reason. Make we talk. If we see corruption in any shape or form, we're going to highlight it. Make we talk. Jeffrey Tavares represents yard and broad and the entire diaspora. As long as it affects the life of our nation, uncover the truth, make we reason, make we talk. And we don't care about no vumva viva va, no upper echelon, nobody's not above the law. As long as it now help Jamaica, make we talk. Make we talk. Unity is strength. Make we reason. Make we talk. If we see corruption in any shape or form, we're going to highlight it. Make we talk. Jeffrey Tavares represents yard and broad and the entire diaspora. As long as it affects the life of our nation, uncover the truth, make we reason, make we talk. And we don't care about no vumva viva va, no upper echelon, nobody's not above the law. As long as it now help Jamaica, make we talk. Make we talk. Unity is strength. Make we reason. Make we talk. If we see corruption in any shape or form, we're going to highlight it. Make we talk. Jeffrey Tavares represents yard and broad and the entire diaspora. As long as it affects the life of our nation, uncover the truth, make we reason, make we talk. And we don't care about no vumva viva va, no upper echelon, nobody's not above the law. As long as it now help Jamaica, make we talk. Make we talk. Unity is strength. Make we reason. Make we talk. If we see corruption in any shape or form, we're going to highlight it. Make we talk. Jeffrey Tavares represents yard and broad and the entire diaspora. As long as it affects the life of our nation, uncover the truth, make we reason, make we talk. And we don't care about no vumva viva va, no upper echelon, nobody's not above the law. As long as it now help Jamaica, make we talk. Make we talk. Unity is strength. Make we reason. Make we talk. If we see corruption in any shape or form, we're going to highlight it. Make we talk. Jeffrey Tavares represents yard and broad and the entire diaspora. As long as it affects the life of our nation, uncover the truth, make we reason, make we talk. And we don't care about no vumva viva va, no upper echelon, nobody's not above the law. As long as it now help Jamaica, make we talk. Make we talk. Unity is strength. Make we reason. Make we talk. If we see corruption in any shape or form, we're going to highlight it. Make we talk. Jeffrey Tavares represent yard and broad and the entire diaspora. As long as it affect the life of our nation, uncover the truth, make we reason, make we talk. And we don't care about no vumva viva va, no upper echelon, nobody is not above the law. As long as it not help Jamaica, make we talk. Make we talk. Unity is strength. Make we reason. Make we talk. If we see corruption in any shape or form, we're going to highlight it. Make we talk. Jeffrey Tavares represent yard and broad and the entire diaspora. As long as it affect the life of our nation, uncover the truth, make we reason, make we talk. And we don't care about no vumva viva va, no upper echelon, nobody is not above the law. As long as it not help Jamaica, make we talk. Make we talk. Unity is strength. Make we reason. Make we talk. If we see corruption in any shape or form, we're going to highlight it. Make we talk. Jeffrey Tavares.
We do apologize for that long commercial break. We had also deal with some issues here because, as you know, that I have to earn a living. So, bear with me, please. I do apologize about this. I'm at work, and I had also do some stuff. So I do apologize. Students, thank you all very much. Thank you all for bearing with me and staying with me. We're going to play a video here from a well-known apostle. I think it's Apostle Jeffrey Shuttleworth. Walking in Divine Purpose. I wish she was on here tonight because I know she is a person who is, I think she's a part of the church. I'm not sure. But I want you to listen to something here that the gentleman said. For those who are just joining us, welcome to the Make We Talk program. Our tonight discussion will be state judicial killing. And why are the churches in Jamaica so quiet? They're very silent. So tonight we're going to have Bishop Harold Blair Jr., opposition spokesperson and National Security Member of Parliament Fitz Jackson will be our special guest this evening at 8 o'clock Jamaica time. They will be coming on, but we saw the program a little early tonight because we need to make sure that, you know, we get the people to come on and to listen to us. So like up the live feed, share up the live feed, and, you know, make everybody know that we're speaking about our island Jamaica. And how many more Jamaicans must be gunned down in this country as if they are blackbirds. I want you to listen to the apostle. Listen to what he's saying.
Last year, men murdered. We're seeing 300, over 300 last year. Men murdered or killed. And now you have over 70, approaching 100. Indicom is at its wit's end, calling for certain actions to be taken, and all of those calls are falling on deaf ears. And they continue to just going around, as we would say, chuck it. They just chuck it. They just go around and do what they feel like. It is untenable. It is untenable. It is unacceptable in this island of Jamaica. And as one of the persons, one of the onlookers said, and it is basically repeating what we would have been saying time and time again, that if you remain silent, you don't say anything because it's not affecting you. It is only a matter of time before it comes right at your doorstep, affecting you directly, because you may be someone confronted by them, and you are cut down in that way, under the guise that you were seen as a threat, or your son, your daughter, or some relative. It cannot be. When I look at the police force elsewhere, we have seen an incident even recently with the president involved, where there was this gunman, right, who forced his way through the security. They could have killed him right there easily, because the Secret Service, they were all over, right? He even wounded one of the operatives there, right? One of the security officers, and they did not kill the man. What are you telling me about that you have to? All of these incidents have to end with fatality? The devil is a liar. And if the people of Jamaica continue to sit back and allow it, watch what's going to happen. Do you think what happened in Granville recently with that lady? And of course, we're not saying what she did was right. I don't know all the details. But it cannot be that every time an officer claims to be threatened, the end result has to be the death of someone. The devil is a liar. The devil is a liar. And if the people of Jamaica continue to keep silent with all of these incidents happening, it is just a matter of time before this very same situation is going to happen to more and more Jamaicans, not just those in the so-called depressed communities, not only those who are considered underprivileged or so-called poor, but it's also going to happen to those in the upper echelons of the society. But hear this and hear this well. The Lord says that he will be moving amongst the JCF, that you're going to see bizarre incidents. Already you're seeing some of them, and there's more to come. There is more to come. As he shared, I listed out a raft of them, bizarre incidents and so on, because if it is that they continue on this path of bloodletting and bloodshedding, the Lord will be striking, and be striking in different ways. And in many of these instances, it's going to be asked, how did it happen? It's a part of the judgment. I'm calling on the Prime Minister. I'm calling on the Minister of National Security. They need to take action. This is untenable in a so-called democratic society. It is untenable. But having said that, the judgment of the Lord also is intensifying, and it will manifest in these and other ways. A breakdown of law and order, and ignoring of due process, and all of those. We will see a deterioration in various areas of life and living in our nation of Jamaica. It is part and parcel of the judgment of God. Perishing of our children, that sort of thing. Low fertility rate, rise in the cost of living, and such alike. Civil unrest, all of that. Political victimization, political unrest, and so on and so forth.
You know, when I listen to the gentleman speaks, let me say this to my fellow Jamaicans. The God that we serve, you know, there is too much blood being slaughtered on the streets of Jamaica by the security forces. And I told you already, Jeffrey Tavares is no one a man. I am trying to live a life pleasing to Almighty God. But this nation is in crisis. Good night, everyone in the chat room. Welcome. Like up the live feed, like up the live feed, like up the live feed. Come on, give me about 500 likes. This nation is in crisis. How many more Jamaicans must be murdered in this country by the security forces. You hear nothing from the Prime Minister of Jamaica pertaining to what happened yesterday. And he's in the Parliament. You hear nothing from the Minister of National Security. And they're in the People's Parliament this evening. How many more of our black daughters and black sons must be gunned down in this country by the security forces? Many of you may not remember 2010, when the state of Jamaica unalive many Jamaicans down in Tivoli Garden. And what we do in this country is to award people who have done wrong to the people of this country. We spend millions of dollars on commission of inquiry, and no one was held accountable for the atrocity. That went on in Tivoli Garden and continue until this blessed day. No well-thinking democracy. No well-thinking democracy must have its people being gunned down by the security forces. And the chief servant of the people of this country is silent. The chief servant of the people of this country has nothing to say. How many more Jamaicans must be murdered in this country before the Jamaican people say enough is enough? How many more Jamaicans must be gunned down in this country by the security forces before the Jamaican people say to the powers may be, we will not have none of it? How many more? How many more? We are a people that said that Jamaica has churches per square mile. And yet our churches are quiet. You hear nothing from the umbrella group of churches. And that is why a lot of people don't like when I talk, You see this so-called prayer breakfast they're having in this country? It's only the people of the Vum churches that goes to those things, They don't invite people from, let's say, Mount Faith Baptist Church in Lawrence Tavern. Or let's say Dr. Bishop Campbell Church out there in St. Thomas. Or Bishop Raleigh Christie Church. Or Bishop Kenton Palmer over by Waterhouse. They don't invite those people. Who they invite is the people of the Vum Vavant and the Vum Vavi. Those are the people they invite to these so-called prayer breakfasts. And you hear them talk, oh Lord God Almighty, we pray for the Prime Minister of this country and the leader of the opposition. And the chop some tongues, Rababa Masosia, who stole the Honda. While this nation is bleeding and poor people pitney suffering in this country. How many more Jamaicans must be murdered in this country? How many more Jamaicans must be murdered in this country before we all stand up and demand an action and demand accountability that we will not stand by anymore. And allow this to continue. We hear nothing from the leader of the government of Jamaica, from a prime minister in his speech to Portia Simpson Miller when she was leaving the Parliament of Jamaica. This prime minister told Mrs. Simpson Miller that she mustn't worry because he is a defender of the poor people in this country. And he loves the poor just like how Mama P loves the poor. We must ask ourselves the question, do they truly love the people of this country? And we must search ourselves as individuals. Do we truly love ourselves as Jamaicans? We must ask ourselves as individuals, who do we put first in our lives? Do we put Almighty God first? Or do we put our wives, our husbands, our politicians first? We must search ourselves as individuals and ask ourselves, who must we put first in our lives? For far too long, we the Jamaican people have put politics and politicians first. For far too long, we believe that the political parties can stem the problems that we face in this country. From 1962, we have been swapping black dog for monkey in this country. From 1962, the security forces of this country have been unaliving Jamaican citizens, and nothing comes out of it. For far too long, the security forces has been judge, jury, and executioner. Now tell me something. If you believe the young lady is driving the van towards you, why didn't you shoot the tires? Why did you have to point the gun, taxpayer's gun, and aim it straight into the windscreen and kill that young lady? And you feel no remorse. You don't feel nothing. There are so many people nowadays who has no feeling, has no heart. They have no compassion for their fellow man. They're wicked and cruel. They're heartless. It begs to ask the question, are we truly children of God? Are we truly children of the great high God? And is this country truly a Christian-minded country? Is this country truly a country built on Christian principles and Christian values and Christian attitudes? Is this country built on prayer? Do we willingly say the Lord's Prayer and don't have faith in it? Do we willingly believe that we can get along and we can wake ourselves up in the mornings? And do we believe That when we go to church and we're chatting in some tongues, and then we have no love for our fellow men and women. What sort of country are we leaving behind for our children? What sort of nation are we creating for the next set of generation that is coming behind us? What sort of country are we preparing for the next set of Jamaicans that are coming up? And many of us are quiet. We're silent because we don't want to ruffle any feathers in the voom vavant and the voom vavie of society. But let me make something clear to you tonight. I don't care which feathers I ruffle, because those who live in the effluence of society do not know how I eat. So quite frankly, I don't care whatever feathers I ruffle. I don't care. We must speak the truth in this country, cost it what it will. And all I can hear from my fellow Jamaicans, I'm afraid, Jeffrey, because they made those things. The late Marcus Mosiah Garvey wasn't afraid. Nanny of the Maroon wasn't afraid. Paul Bogle wasn't afraid. Sam Sharp wasn't afraid. Michael Norman Manley wasn't afraid. Bustamante wasn't afraid. When Bustamante tore his shirt and said, "Shoot me and leave my people." When Michael Manley lay down in front of the old JBC building and said, "Run the vehicle over me and leave my people." When the student of the University of the West Indies led the gas riot in the 1990s, I wasn't afraid. No, I'm not saying that you must create an atmosphere. No, what I'm saying to you, we must create an atmosphere of peace and tranquility and demand accountability in this country. A government of the people, for the people, and by the people. So many money have been given to the government of the day for Hurricane Melissa. Millions and billions of United States dollars. And our people are still living in squalor. Our people are still living in squalor. Have no roof over their head. They're left up to the element of the night and of the day. And because we have a roof over our head, we don't care. When will we wake up in this country? When will we, the Jamaican people, have had enough? When will we say no more to police killing in this country? No more to the security forces unaliving the Jamaican citizens? When will we say so? When will we get up, whether we are PNP or JLP, and say enough of this? When will we do so? I want to play something here tonight by the late Michael Manley. And many of you may say, "Jeffrey, a PNP tonight." I don't care who no one call me. No. When will we stop the killing in this country? When will we say to Andrew Holness and Dr. Harris Chang, we need you to stand up for us. We don't want no more killing. And if you can't stand up for us, then leave. The Jamaican people have the opportunity on September 23rd, 2025, or 2025 rather, to make a change for themselves in this country. But you did not do so. When will we say enough is enough? When will we have leaders of the people, for the people, and by the people? When? My heart grieve for this piece of rock we call home. I was speaking to a patriotic Jamaican today, and she said to me, Jeffrey, if we can't run to go home, where will we run to? If we can't go back home to our country, Jamaica, because of the crime and violence, where are we going to run to? Where are we truly going to run to as Jamaicans who believe in a Jamaica, who believe in a democracy? When can we as Jamaicans in the diaspora, when we see these people come up here to have town hall meetings, why can't we ask them the questions that need to be asked? Why do we have to hands and glove these people and boast to our friends that I take a picture with the Prime Minister and I'm going to get the order of old dead dog or the order of old dead donkey or the cow of class? Many of us want to be recognized while our black brothers are being gunned down in this country. Many of us want to be recognized when the money that we donate is not given to the people, but we sit down and accept what is going on. When can we say to the powers may be, the diaspora is locked off now, we can't give no more? Show us how you spend the money. But no, we don't do those things. What we do is to literally hands and glove these people. When will we stand up? When will the people of Jamaica get up and say enough is enough? I said it last, I'm going to say it again tonight. We in the diaspora has done enough. We in the diaspora has bring awareness to what is going on in Jamaica. The time has come for the Jamaican people to do something, not we in the diaspora no more. As we stand by to join is now 8:30, it's 7:30 in the land of wood and water. As we stand by to join Bishop Harold Blair Jr., Member of Parliament and Opposition Spokesperson on National Security, the Honorable Fitz Jackson. They will be our special guest tonight. As we speak state judicial killing, why are the churches in Jamaica so silent? They will be our special guest tonight. Like, share, and subscribe. Like up the live feed. Like up the live feed. Share up the live feed. We're going to speak truth to power over here tonight. Our nation is in serious crisis. Our nation needs God. We, the people, must go down on our knees and pray for this nation. Whether we like it, yes or no, Jamaica needs God. The parliament of this country is lacking of Almighty God. Because those who are put to govern this country has nothing in their heart for the Almighty God. But as what the late Michael Manley once said, let us play this video from Mr. Michael Manley.
The only one that is fit to lead is the one that walks hand in hand, shoulder to shoulder, equal with the people, loving with the people. That's why I don't want no big flashy motor car. I don't want nobody in my party go all have flashy clothes. I dress simple. And I drive in a simple little car. Because we must walk with the people. The day we think we're bigger than the people, we have no business to lead. He must inspire by example. And above all, he must have integrity. 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 Only honesty can lead the people.
You hear that? Only honesty can lead the people of this country. And integrity. Only honesty can lead the people of this nation. But many of us don't believe in honesty. I said it last, I'm going to say it again. This Andrew Holness administration is one of the most corrupt political parties since independent Jamaica. They surpassed the 1990s. This Andrew Holness-led administration is one of the most corrupt political organizations in the history of this country since 1962. Billions wasted while the people of this country don't have proper health care. Billions missing. And the Jamaican people sit down and says nothing because they're afraid. Billions, trillions gone unaccountable for. And they borrow money and we must pay back IMF. But you have some Jamaicans who are the lack of cabeza, who said, no, sir, I don't have to pay tax in this country. Make everything free. They're paying tax and they don't realize it. They spend billions of dollars to revamp a security force who go around and shoot down the Jamaican people as if they are blackbirds. They spend billions and millions of dollars or trillions of dollars every year to buy new vehicles for the security forces to go around and throw a Jamaican citizen in there like a piece of dead meat. And you hear nothing from the people of the effluence of society. You hear nothing from the people of the effluence of society. How many more Jamaicans must be unalived by the security forces in this country? How many more? How many more, Mr. Prime Minister? How many more, Mr. Minister of National Insecurity and No Peace? How many more, Mr. Governor General? How many more, Mr. Commissioner of Police? How many more church leaders? How many more Jamaican citizens must be gunned down by the security forces in this country? How many more? How many more? How many more of our black brothers and sisters must be gunned down in this country and the security forces throw their body as if it's a piece of nasty dead meat in the back of a taxpayer's pickup that call a service vehicle that belongs to the JCF? How many more? How many more? My God Almighty, how many more? And you don't hear the leaders of this country. You don't hear the Prime Minister says nothing in the People's Parliament this afternoon about it. All he is interested in is to pass a bill to continue taking out money from the NHT that poor people in this country can't get a home. They continue raiding the NHT that poor people in this country cannot get a home to live in. They continue raping the NHT. That's the only thing to think about in the Parliament this afternoon. A remarkable speech by Dr. Alfred Dawes. A remarkable speech by Damian Crawford and Isaac Buchanan this afternoon. You hear nothing from the government side. You hear nothing from Olivia Babsy Grange. You hear nothing from Juliet Cuthbert Flynn. You hear nothing from Dalrymple Philibert. You hear nothing from Ambassador Audrey Marks. You hear nothing from Rhoda Crawford. And I can go on and on. Because what? Buju, the young lady who they killed, is nothing to them. When the police fire the gun into Buju's car and they drag out Buju's body along the roadside in our country and throw her in the back of the pickup as if she's some dead, dirty animal. My God in heaven, my heart grieve. My heart grieve. Where is Jamaica going? Where is this country going? Whether we like it, yes or no, we must ask the question, where is this country going? Where is this piece of rock that has been the gem of the Caribbean and the gem of the world? Where is this country going? Are we going to sit idly by and let these so-called political leaders of this country, the political gangs in this country, wreck this nation some more? Because we have this stupid idealism that we are born PNP and we are born JLP? When will we wake up in this country? I'm not saying they mustn't have a political affiliation. But my God, man, put your nation first. Put you first. I am learning to put myself first. I'm learning to put God first and myself. Nobody must come before Almighty God and myself. You have to learn to love yourself, Jamaicans. Don't love a party over yourself. Learn to love yourself. And ask the question once more. How many more Jamaicans must be murdered in this country and alive in this country by the security forces? How many more? How many more of our black brothers and sisters in this country must be dragged from their vehicle, dragged along the roadway as if there's some dead casket or some dead animal, and thrown in the back of a police pickup with some old nasty, dirty tire? And the pickup back dirty, not even dirty, dirty. And the flinger in there. And then throw that fling Buju in there as if Buju is a nobody pitney. Buju is nobody's pitney. You take out taxpayer gun and you fire a bullet inside the vehicle, killer. And you hear nothing from Andrew Holness. You hear nothing from Dr. Harris Chang. How many more Jamaicans must be murdered in this country? What happened here? Call back, I didn't know what happened. The phone was cut off. How many more? How many more are we gonna sit down in this country, Jamaicans, and allow the security forces to continue brutalizing taxi drivers, brutalizing the citizens of this country, and then turn taxpayer gun on them? When will this stop? When will all of this stop? When will all of this stop? When will we stop? When will we say to the security forces, enough is enough? We're going to sit idly by and allow police to brutalize taxi drivers, to put a bullet in a woman's body and drag her through the streets and fling her in the back of a pickup as if she's a piece of dead meat. And you hear nothing from a prime minister who professes in the parliament of Jamaica that he's a defender of the poor people in this country. You hear nothing from the churches. You hear nothing from the umbrella group of churches. How many more of our black brothers and sisters must be gunned down in this country? How many more? How many more? How many more? How many more must we see on social media and our television screen where police gun down poor people, pitney? I bet you if Buju was from the effluence of society, of Narbrook and Cherry Garden, there'll be an emergency press conference long time. But because Buju is from the ghetto of Narbrook, not Narbrook, Granville in St. James, or wherever it is, where she come from. Huh? How many more? I bet you if it was one of the parliamentarians' son or daughter, the police gunned down, you think the policeman would just take our frontline duty and lock up in one cell? If it was one of those people of the Vum Vavant and the Vumvavi in this country. Daughter gunned down by the security forces. That policeman or that group of police officers will be in prison now. They'll be in central lockup waiting for a court date. But because Buju, family na come from Norbrook or Cherry Garden, or she don't have nobody in a parliament, or she don't have nobody who from the Vumvavan and the Vumvavi of society in our country. The police can continue go around and shoot down poor people pitney as if they are blackbird is bird season. I heard a lady ask Canada Brian on his program this afternoon or today. Is bird season in existence in Jamaica? This security forces has taken up taxi drivers and beat them. And you hear nothing comes out of it. This security force beat an 85-year-old man. And nothing comes out of it. Not a damn thing come out of it. How many more of our black brothers and sisters in this country must be gunned down before something is done? How many more of our black brothers and sisters must the state of Jamaica unalive? They did that in Tivoli Garden in 2010. How many Jamaicans was thrown into a mass grave in Kingston Cemetery, and they spend millions of dollars for commercial inquiry, and not a soul go to prison for it. Nobody was held accountable. What they do to those who was involved or who sent police and soldiers up to Kirkland Heights or Key Clark home was to give them seat in the office of the Prime Minister and name them Ambassador of Plentiful. How many more of our black brothers and sisters must be gunned down in this country before we all say no more? Before we all go out there peacefully with black shirts on and said no more Andrew Holness, no more Dr. Harris Chang, no more Mr. Golden. You spoke about it, Comrade Golden. We hear nothing from the leader, the chief servant of the people of this country. You hear nothing from Andrew Michael Holness. How many more must be gone down in this country? It is now 8:50. How many more? How many more? My God Almighty, how many more? To show you that the security forces has no regards for the Jamaican people. When we see that viral video of that policeman beating that 85-year-old man. Good evening, make we talk here live.
Jeffrey, where are going?
Why am I there?
Why people are wicked on my yard, may I tell you, Jeffrey, may I tell you. But my thing is to Jeffrey,
Yes.
the opposition, them still, I not say me I beat them every time, but they all them should have wear black today in our house and going, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah, man, they have to think out the box, you know? Wear black and put even lay the picture up on their shirt and them something, you know?
Continue
Not
talking.
because of them.
Continue talking. I'm just going to turn off something. Continue talking.
Not because I know for them constituency. Them need for need to think out the box, man. Them two them not do no politics sometimes to Jeffrey. That me think. All the time he said the same thing. Them two speak is spokey. Cause how me see yard around Jeffrey, nobody no want live a yard again. Everybody a go run away. Everybody a try left Jamaica right now. So look more nobody now left there. But as we yeah, nobody now go left a yard if I saw them a going. When then truly the night in a jeep, now back at the pickup. Even if she never dead at the time, but we then threw fling her in a van back, Jeffrey. She have to dead. You understand? We then throw her in a back of the van. She have to dead, or then throw her in there. Like I want dead donkey or something, throw in a van.
Just drag her out of the van. Nothing draw. Drag out of the vehicle.
And throw her, say I throw
Fling
then
her
throw her
inside
up in
there. Good God Almighty, man.
I throw then throw her, while I not fling her up in a van. Different, but I show this too much about them, see, and them a show, the blogger them a show say, oh, she take picture with Andrew and she a JLP. That not say matter which speech in PMP, no matter which who she vote for, it's no political, and take lady life cold blooded.
Let me tell you something. Yeah, some Jamaicans, you see, who don't think logical. I can go take a picture with the Prime Minister. That means I'm a member of the Jamaica Labour Party.
It don't matter how kind of party they be, Jeffrey.
Or I can take a picture with the leader of the opposition, Mr. Golden. That means I'm a member of the PNP. We're sick as hell in this country,
Everything they want to say political, but it's what it is, But even the policeman, he shouldn't be in their jail right now.
Exactly.
Because that's murder. He should be in jail right now. In the home now, and I get half pay. What if there was no camera?
God help us.
And then if a woman vaccine right there, open up right, anybody can go on TV, yeah?
No, I don't think anybody will go in trouble because you know why?
No, I'm just saying, if it's that they say they want then. Say then they want to take away our vehicle and I'm just saying,
Yes. It hurts.
Me going back in the class, Jeffrey.
Yeah, man. Thank you very much. When you see a man like Cliff Hughes have to come out
like murder. It looks like murder. This is not how you defend yourself. And he was in no imminent danger of being run over by the Voxy. No, you see where he steps out of the way. The pace of the Voxy, is not at a speed that you could say that he is in imminent danger. Unless there's something else that I'm not seeing. And Budju is now dead as a result of this. The High Command has acted swiftly. They have interdicted him, meaning that he has been removed from frontline duties. Yes? However, that woman's life is gone and gone forever. I don't want to say much more except that this looks bad. It is. It looks like murder.
My God. Watch this video. Listen to this video here from the council of the area.
Because she was marked for death. Because in the Mother's Day incident, she picked up a spank shell and put it in her whatever, and then what she put it in her front, and the police wanted that she never give it to her, give it to them. Yesterday, the same policeman came back and attacked the girl and said, "You remember what happened the last time?" So she was marked for death.
This is a very strong allegation.
I am telling you that the police said, "You remember what happened the last time?" So she was marked for death.
My God in heaven. That's the counselor for the area that you know. Michael Troops. This is what he said.
She was marked for death. Because in the Mother's Day incident, she picked up a spank shell and put it in her whatever, and then what she put it in her front, and the police wanted that she never give it to her, give it to them. Yesterday, the same policeman came back and attacked the girl and said, "You remember what happened the last time?" So she was marked for death.
This is a very strong allegation.
I am telling you that the police said, "You remember what happened the last time?" So she was marked for death.
Jesus Christ in heaven. Why? How many more Jamaicans must be gunned down in this country by the hands of the security forces? You're saying to me that the police officer You're saying to me that the police officer couldn't take the gun and shoot the tires? You put the gun, you aim taxpayer's gun to the windscreen or the glass, whatever you want to call it, and fire a single bullet and kill the young lady. Fire a single bullet. How many more Jamaicans must be murdered in this country by the so-called security forces of Jamaica? And the Prime Minister of this country was in the People's Parliament today. What you hear from the Prime Minister, Kanana Pong? Not a word. How many more? That's my question to the people of Jamaica. That's my question to the parliament of this country. Jamaica. How many more Jamaicans must be unalive in this country by the so-called security forces who have sworn to serve and protect the people of this country? For I know the plans I have for you, said the Lord. Plans to prosper you and give you a future. This government often use these words from Jeremiah. For I know the plans I have for you, said the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not harm you. Good God Almighty. Father, I stretch my hand to thee, O Lord, as we stand by to join Bishop Harold Blair Jr. We stand by to join Bishop Harold Blair Jr. and opposition spokesperson and national security, Mr. Fitz Jackson, will come on this evening to speak to us. How many more? How many more? My heart grieves for my nation tonight. I have joining me now Bishop Harold Blair Jr. Bishop Blair, can we see you on camera, sir, and unmute your mic, sir? There he is. I know he's coming from a function.
Yes, I'm coming from a function where we're looking at the minds of Jamaicans, a very interesting meeting. I'm picking up my mother-in-law, so I'm going to get out of the driver's seat so I can concentrate on you and let my wife drive in about 3 minutes.
No problem. I'll let you come. I can get me some lights also from you then.
Okay, I'll make an effort, yes.
Okay, sir. No problem. Go ahead, sir. We're standing by to join Bishop Harold Blair Jr., who is a bishop in Jamaica who I know very well, who continues speaking out for the poorer class of Jamaicans. We're also standing by to join none other than my good friend, Member of Parliament Fitz Jackson, Member Jackson, who is also the opposition spokesperson and national security. Jamaica's security system is gone. Gone, 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 gone. Have no return to return. Yet they say crime is down. I want you to show you something here again. Listen to this.
Civil society organizations believe there is a breakdown of trust between citizens and the police. Opposition spokesperson on national security Fitz Jackson says this incident needs a transparent, fast, and completely independent investigation by the Independent Commission of Investigations, INDECOM.
We cannot keep losing citizens during interactions with the law enforcement officers who are paid to protect them and all of us Jamaicans. Regrettably, too many innocent and law-abiding citizens are becoming almost as fearful of the police as they are of criminals.
According to INDECOM, the use of technology and independent visual documentation is often critical in providing context and perspective regarding the sequence of actions of both law enforcement and citizens before, during, and after an incident. It also provides the police high command with an enhanced ability to make timely and informed administrative and operational decisions following incidents, including determinations relating to officer deployment, frontline assignments, and other immediate supervisory actions. Executive Director for Jamaicans for Justice JFJ Michael Jackson says footage of officers can assist with extrajudicial responses such as this incident.
Any individual involved in an altercation with law enforcement should not lose their lives unless there is an immediate and proportionate threat to life. Without the availability of that CCTV footage, we would not be in the position to even be having this conversation, and we would not perhaps have seen the JCF High Command responding while respecting the necessity of the investigation, placing that officer on interdiction.
The Commission reports that no body-worn camera was issued to or worn by the 3 police officers who were reported cited as conducting crowd control duties in relation to a protest at the time of the fatal shooting of Latoya Bulgin. The death of Miss Bulgin increases the total fatal shootings for the month of May 2026 to 15 persons who were fatally shot by the security forces, including the double fatal police shooting on May 16 in Hague, Trelawney.
When you look at the footage and you see the woman's body just being hauled in the street and then thrown in the back of the service vehicle, then it raises questions about the dignity of person and how we treat even those who the officers may in their judgment deem to be dead. But that's not how we treat the bodies of people. And again, dignity of person, even in death, ought to be respected as a human rights principle.
Crystal Williams reporting for CVM News.
Michael Jackson speak very nice about thrown into the vehicle. Them dash the woman in the vehicle. The security forces dash the woman, not throw. That's literally dash the dasher in the vehicle. Good evening. You ready for me now, Bishop? I want to say good evening to Bishop Harold Blair Jr. coming to us to speak to us. What is the church saying about what is going on in Jamaica? With so many Jamaicans being unalived by the security forces. Go ahead, sir.
Good evening, my friend. And forgive me, as I said, I'm leaving one meeting now where we're working on the values of Jamaica. The church has never been more united than it is now. We have the Jamaica Umbrella Group of Churches, but we also have the Watchman Church Leaders Alliance. And we've been meeting, we've been vocal, we've been actioning things. And that includes departing Kingston tomorrow to be in Granville with the family of Miss Bulgin. So the church has sent out our press releases regarding this event. Naturally, I would be more vocal within the group than others because I'm a trained journalist. And yes, though there's anger, at one point I would have had the group look at things which is beyond just what happened, but to also look at what happens next. The fact that we carry out a fight against injustice against Jamaicans also means that we take a stand for the families of those who have now lost a mother, her children, her family. She's no longer there for them. And that is very important. It's very important for the church to not just speak out, but to be there to make sure that these family members, excuse me, are able to survive, are able to find comfort, and are able to understand how they move forward. Certainly, what I saw initially made me stop to look to see if the police officer was defending himself. But as you look at it more and more, you can see it took less than a second after the tire moved for her to be shot. And so that's not a matter of defense. That was almost like a cowboy, the cowboy shootouts, the way he so-called would have defended himself. And that is so sad it took place in such a public arena. It is so sad the way a woman was treated. And it also goes and refers to how the men in Jamaica need to have further respect, not just a police officer, because I've been speaking to men generally, how they curse bad words and do things around women, and that needs to be looked at. I see my friend. I'm often told that I look like him. He's a good friend and a former neighbor.
You mean Member of Parliament
He's
Fitzjackson?
my MP, by the way. He's my MP, and he's a great man, a good man.
I want to say welcome to Member of Parliament, Opposition Spokesperson and National Security, my good friend too, Member Jackson, for coming on to the program tonight. Member Jackson, welcome to the program.
So, my brother Blair.
Mr. Jackson, good day, good night.
Good to see you here. First of all, my apologies, Sir Jeffrey, as I mentioned in my text. I'm just leaving from Parliament. We had an extended sitting and we had to vote on a matter. So I had to stay put to register my vote, though our vote did not carry, but it registered our principal position of not supporting the withdrawal from the Housing Trust to support.
Yes, I was watching it.
Yes, so
I live on my channel too.
I wanted my vote to be counted in that number of objections, at least for the records. But,
Member Jackson, as you come on air here, Member Jackson, I want you to speak to the Jamaican people as a member of the People's National Party, as a opposition spokesperson and national security, but mainly as a Jamaican citizen. What is going on in our country, sir? Members of the diaspora is very concerned.
Well, that's a very tall list you have given me what is going on in the country, but I think you're at this point speaking specifically to that unfortunate episode in Granville, St. James a few days ago. Gentlemen, viewers and listeners, when I watched the video on what took place, I was frozen. That lady, irrespective of what her background is, she was murdered in cold blood. Murdered in cold blood before everyone. And a couple of issues arise. Well, a couple. One, the fact of her being shot and killed by a police officer. And let me immediately say, that action, in my view, does not reflect the caliber, the integrity of the overwhelming majority of the police force in this country. During my tenure as a member of parliament, I've had the opportunity to interact with police officers across all ranks, right across the country. And I can speak to the depth of the integrity that exists in the force. But you know the whole saying that says one bad apple make a bad bunch, one bad chain in a link destroy the chain itself, and that's what we see manifested itself. So when you have those manifestations, right, it has to be treated with the seriousness that it demands, that it commands. So the blatant cold-blooded murder is one. The other one was how the lady was treated upon being shot. And I said the lady because nobody knew at what point she actually died, right? So she was shot and she would have to be presumed to be alive and her life being secured by the very officers of the state to seek medical attention, notwithstanding how improper, how despicable her shooting was in the first instance. She should have been taken to a hospital to be treated, because if the presumption is that she did something wrong, our jurisprudence is that you are literally innocent until proven guilty when the justice system, the judicial process is exhausted. That is to be detained, arrested, charged, and be prosecuted in a court of law where the accused has the legal opportunity to defend their claimed innocence. So there's a duty and obligation that was hers that was abused. But seeking such medical attention is one thing. We saw with our own eyes how she was taken from the vehicle and placed in the police vehicle. Many people treat their dead dogs better than how she was treated on that occasion.
You're so correct, sir.
Many people treat their dead dogs much better than how she was treated, even if presumed dead at the time. And no police officer, neither you nor I, have the right nor the authority to treat anybody as dead unless so pronounced by a medical professional.
They drag her from her vehicle on the ground, on the street, the hot asphalt, and throw her in the back of the service because she's some dead dog for true.
You know, worse than a dead dog. Worse than a dead dog. So with that happening before our eyes, and as a spokesperson for the People's National Party on national security, I have a duty to speak of and to protect the integrity of the law-abiding, human rights respecting members of the JCF that we rely upon to protect us. Me, every one of us in Jamaica rely upon them, and we can't afford that reputation to be tarnished. But there's another issue that arises, and it's against the background of the absence of body-worn cameras by the police when they're carrying out particularly planned activities. Because in this case of Miss Bulgin, Latoya Bulgin, yes, the police high command interdicted the officer involved. But I would have indicted, and I believe all the officers who were involved then should be interdicted at the same too, because they worked in together. And I never saw anybody intervening to even pick up the lady in a humane way to put her. So, as the lawyers will tell you, or the prosecutors, it was a conspiracy of that poor action between those who are there. That is one. The other point is that with the evidence that we have, which by the way was from CCTV and some shops in the area, right? And people who, of course, who were videotaping. Many people are of the opinion that if it wasn't for those cameras, the report would be like the standard script. They were attacked, police was attacked, they returned fire, and the person was killed. Because we hear that in over 400 cases over the past year, going to this year, it's 130 so far, right? Where the script is almost identical.
Let me ask Member Jackson, let's bring him back, Bishop Harold Blair Jr. here. Unmute his mic. There you go. Bishop Blair, in all of this now, sir, we have seen this. What is the church saying? What is the church organizing? Are they going to have a meeting with the Prime Minister? Are they going to have a meeting with the Minister of National Security along with the opposition to say, hey, we can't allow this anymore. Enough of this.
Yeah, the church has sent out, the church groups have both sent out press releases encouraging the body-worn cameras, encouraging accountability in all aspects of governance. And that has been something that we've been working on for the last, especially with the Watchman Church Leaders Alliance for the last 6 months, to say that the people deserve accountability in all areas. When it comes to cameras, we've seen the benefit of cameras. Cameras have been up on stoplights and on other areas, and it's being used, but we do need full usage. And I'm sure the PMP's Mr. Jackson, who is handling security for the opposition would agree. We need to have these things to help us to make Jamaica safer and better. As Mr. Jackson said also, we are very encouraging of our police force. I stop whenever I see a police on the road, and I say, I don't wait for police to stop me. I stop and I pray for them, I bless them, I thank them for their service. But there's also a point that we must make. Jamaica is a country that has different levels of people. So a gunman is a part of the society. And those criminals can be found in churches, in the court system, in the police force. I also want to say in the house, but at the end of the day, it is that
Which one of the
same
house you're talking
Jamaican.
about, though?
It is that same Jamaican who makes up the police force. So it's that same Jamaican who comes into the church. And our responsibility, as I say to the churches, is that we've got to work on Jamaica, not just a police force, not just a politician, a corrupt politician. We've got to work on Jamaica to make Jamaica a better place to live and to work and to be able to be held accountable. And that means we have to work with our children to teach them the importance of ethics. We need to work with our workers to teach them hard work once more, because our people are not working hard. We have some work to do. We cannot sit back and just play, okay, Jamaica is a great place. It is one of you and I met in the Cayman Islands, right? Cayman's an awesome place, good money, but there's nowhere like Jamaica.
Exactly.
And if we can make Jamaica right, if we can make Jamaica better, if we can get money flowing in Jamaica, which can happen, because I can tell you, if somebody has a good job in this country or can establish a business, they don't need to go to America. So we can do some work today to make this country what it needs to be. And I'm sure Mr. Jackson would agree. So as a church man, I'm saying to Jamaicans, don't turn your back on Jamaica. Stand up. If I go into tastings and I see a man shouting at a woman, I stop him. Most people will stay quiet because they're afraid. But I want to tell you a secret, though. Whenever I stop anybody anywhere for driving on the road, for throwing garbage on the road, as you know, in Cayman, that was a $500 fine. In Jamaica, people get away with anything. But when I stop people, they immediately apologize and say, sorry. Sorry to the lady they were cussing. Sorry about the garbage they were throwing on the road. Sorry about the things they were doing. So if we can get people to think right and do right, then we've got a start. Each Jamaican working to make a difference.
You know, there's a very important point in what Bishop Blair have just said. And by the way, I say ditto to all that he has said just now. But to further that point, Bishop Blair, we have to start taking personal responsibility, each and every one of us. Because what you just mentioned, Bishop Blair, is you taking some responsibility to engage. And like you, I find that people respond positively. Of course, it is how you approach them, right? Will determine how they respond to you too. Even in respect of things that they have done, which are improper. I get the apologies sometimes. I get the just facial expression, sorry, right? Or they would say, to say, all right, I accept what you say. Personal responsibility, because I maintain I don't have the moral authority to criticize anybody if I am not doing what I can do to make a difference. And it must start with me. So the personal responsibility, I am strong on that. But Reverend Blair, I want to say one other thing. When we see the injustices becoming prevalent in whatever spheres of life, as it relates to economic injustice, social injustice, as it relates to crime, even educational injustice in terms of some of the basic things which are being denied in our schools amongst our children. we have to add our voices. Bad things will continue to prevail if good people remain quiet or silent. And the more it happens, is the more we have to lift the decibel in our voices. The more it happens, the more we have to be persistent and consistent in the raising of those voices. It is not an event that will cause a change. It is the continuous acting in involvement of us, the people. So yes, as a political leader, I take responsibility. And as I'm speaking on behalf of the People's National Party, we also accept responsibility. But as I said to a friend of mine, a general can't win a war by themselves. They need an army. The army is the people. The army has its role and responsibilities, just as we too, as leaders in that army.
You know something, Member Jackson? I'm happy to touch on that point. Because I've been bombarded with calls privately and publicly asking me, when will the People's National Party lead a peaceful protest from Negril Point to Moran Point against the injustice in this country, against the corruption in this country, against the lack of accountability in this country, well, still corruption, against the people who are still living under tarpaulin after Hurricane Melissa, where billions of dollars has been given to this government for the people of this country. When will your party, Mr. Jackson, lead a peaceful protest telling the government of Jamaica enough is enough, sir?
Not just about you can fight a war not only with the generals, but with the army. And the persons who say that to you, I want to hear them say to, I am ready to be a part of it. Because we have a tendency, strong tendency, to point fingers as to what others must do. And it doesn't include them. I must tell you, that is one of the disappointments I have with many of my own Jamaicans. They will speak about what must be done, but it does not include them. And they are very eloquent with giving explanation and justification for not doing anything.
You're so
correct. I have an example I can speak to, which I repeat from time to time. Everybody across Jamaica that I encounter, they laud me personally about this whole issue of the banking fees and standing up to the banks. But when I said to persons, will you lead a demonstration where you are with 5 or 10 of you? See what I'm talking about? So we need as a people to develop the fighting spirit. But, regrettably, the crux of the problem, that problem, is that we are not concerned about what is affecting other persons until it hits home to us. One of the reasons why even crime in this country have gotten to the level that it has been over the years is because many persons who witness the corruption, who witness the crime, right, know of the neighbors or the daughter or son who involved in the criminal activity. Me no business. Me not get involved until when that crime, right, affects their neighbors or their family members. And then all of a sudden, this place is in a crisis. It never started overnight. It never started yesterday. It was allowed to mushroom into what it is today because we refuse to say anything. We refuse to do anything. Look here, man. Where we are as a country and the progress that we have made from the colonial days and pre-colonial days to now, it is because some people were prepared to stand up and fight against what was wrong. It was never the gift of those who oppressed us that caused us to be free. Never. Nowhere in the world. Why we think it's going to be an exception that all the right things will happen here in Jamaica without we are prepared to fight for it. We must fight to earn it, and we must fight to preserve it when we succeed in getting it. We must fight to develop it and make it better. Development is not an event. It is not an occasion. It's a process that is dynamic and continuous. And anytime that we drop our hands, anytime that we get a lull to fight for it, we are only going to regress.
Indeed.
And that is what is happening. Because the spirit to fight, to stand up, and to be our brother's keeper, right? We have lost as a people, lost much of that. I am ready to fight. I am always ready to fight, not only as an MP, but as a Jamaican.
You should say not only as a PNP, but as
and
a
not
Jamaican.
only as a no, I say that too, not only as a PNP.
Yes, because
With
that's
or
so
without
true.
the PNP, I will fight. As I've had many fights before that never involved the PNP or my being in the PNP. We fight because what we're fighting for is just. And today for me, today for you, tomorrow for me.
Indeed.
When my house is on fire, when your house is on fire, right, and I don't come to help out it for you, why should I expect you to come and hold my house when it is on fire? That's what I want from my fellow Jamaicans. I want the better. We have achieved a lot over the decades. But many instances where we achieve, we are receding because we become complacent. And I've seen it too often. Many people who, quote unquote, have arrived, do business with nobody else. And those who don't arrive and struggling are left to struggle on their own. But as Mandela said, if we go alone, we will get there faster. But if we go together, we will go much further. It is not how fast we run that is important, but also how far we go. And we can only get there when we go together. And going together, we don't have to wait for perfection. We have to start with ourselves from where we are. So my single continuous cry, let us begin to put our shoulders to what we can do, what the opportunities currently afford us to do. And don't worry about perfection. Just make what is better.
You know,
and the
something
journey will continue.
Yes, Member Jackson. As I sit here and I'm listening to you, and you know, I remember the first protest. I don't know if Bishop Blair knew about this, but the first protest that we led here in the United States against the rampant corruption in our country, Jamaica, the lack of proper health care and so forth, led by Wilfred Rattigan. We had it in New York. Was it in New York or Miami? I don't remember where it was. But we had a group of people came out, a large group of people from all over the United States came. And I sat there and I watched it because I was covering it as on my channel here. And I said to myself, if we could see this in Jamaica, where the people get up and do the same thing, how much this country be a better country. But the Jamaican people sit down and waiting on a Bishop Blair. Oh Lord, we have lost Bishop Blair there. Oh, here he comes back. Hopefully he gets back. I think he's having some internet problem. Waiting on a Bishop Blair or a Fitz Jackson or a Jeffrey Tavares to come and lead a protest for them. It's time for them to get up. They can go out there when an artist is gonna be free from prison. They can go out there and say free world boss. What about themselves? Member Jackson, my question to you though tonight, as we continue this conversation, my question to you is this: how is it that the police officer only taking off frontline duty? If this police officer had shot or shoot a member of the effluence of society, as I dub them, the people of the Vumbavon and the Vumbavie of Norbrook and St. Andrew, Upper St. Andrew and Cherry Garden, you think that policeman would be in prison now? Behind bars now? waiting for a court hearing? Hold on for me. I'm not hearing you. Hold on. Go ahead now. Yeah, go ahead now.
I remember in the early stages of the coronavirus, a young man issued a video making some derogatory remarks about the Prime Minister. He was found. In fact, I heard taken from under his bed. And he was detained, put in jail by the police, just by virtue of those unpleasant things said about the Prime Minister. And they had the evidence because he videotaped what he said. Now you have somebody who murdered someone in cold blood, is not detained, is yet not charged, even though there is the overbearing evidence to support it. People are arrested on the basis of allegation on reports made. Now this murder, you have the video evidence and you have people who stood there as witnesses and there's no charge. 48 hours going now. Something is seriously wrong.
Let me ask Bishop Blair this question too. Bishop Blair, is it because Buju, as she's dubbed, is from the ghetto of Montego Bay, why this police officer is not being charged or being locked up? Or is it because she's not from a reference name as a Blair or a Tavares or a Jackson?
Well, the Blairs are from St. James. My father's from Somerton, which neither is not an affluent area. But the fact is, I'm sure the police would have their normal ways of dealing with this. I'm very concerned that it seems in this case that Indicom almost had to be invited to look at the situation, because it should have been the first thought of everybody right away that with a murder like this in public, a fatal shooting by a police officer, that Indicom would automatically be involved. Certainly, as I said earlier, some people look at, was this a defensive posture by the officer? There are different stories out there, but we can't go by what may be or what may have been or why, or was this a retaliation, or was this police trying to defend themselves against something that was done a week before. But at the end of the day, the police is taken off. Mr. Jackson may know more than me in terms of the policies by the police force when something like this takes place. But we've got to think about the people, we've got to think about the family, but we also have to think about the rights of the officer, and the rights of that officer must be carried out. So they can do nothing different than what they're allowed to do. Sadly, one second, because you know I worked in the prison system in Cayman, and I spent a lot of time fighting the system because police would arrest young men that they felt they wanted to take off the street, but the law said they could not keep them if they were not going to be charged. And we see even in Jamaica, those situations taking place where young men are being locked away, put in lockup for days, and then found innocent. So there's a full abuse of the justice system, and that needs to be looked at overall. What do we do with the police officer? You got to take him off duty. Do we arrest him? I can only say if that is what the policy is. They cannot go against what the policy is.
But I believe, hold on for me, member Jackson, have you come in there? But I believe that if the law of the land is for everybody, I think the law of the land should be for the police too. It can't be. It cannot be Bishop Blair.
Even if you lock him
that you
up
have laws for one people and laws for another
even
people,
if
sir.
you lock him up for a day or two, the rule of the land is, and I'm pretty sure it's the same thing in Jamaica, that they cannot keep him if he's not charged after 2 or 3 days. Right, Mr. Jackson?
Oh, but I think the point Sir Jeffrey is making too is that where you have a preponderance of evidence, right, to charge, you can charge them the same day.
Well, let it be. I don't know why it's not done,
When
but
there is
it can be done.
when there's a detention, when the person is detained and can't be charged, it is usually when there is not sufficient evidence or witness for the person to be so charged by the police. But for example, if you go and report that I threatened you, report that I threatened to kill you, I can be immediately detained and charged if you have witnesses and evidence to corroborate the claim that I make. And the point I'm making in the instant case, and I think that's where Jeffrey is coming from, where you have the preponderance of evidence and witness, right? And you are reframing to act. No, they can detain the person, you can charge them, and they can bail them, They go to court the next day and they get bail if they can satisfy the judge that they should be bailed. But at least the justice system begin to turn. It begin to turn. The justice system not turning yet in regard to the officer who killed that lady. It has not started yet, notwithstanding the evidence that is available. And every day that it is delayed, people get more incense. And that is what making a bad situation worse on the ground.
You know something, Member Jackson and Bishop Blair? What really get to me in this country, my country, Jamaica, there's laws for the people of the Vumvavant. And there's laws for the poor people who live below Crossroad. Same way, they can get the people of SSL can go to a police station, multi-billion-dollar fraud, and they let go scotch-free. This policeman, cold-blooded murderer, take his gun, take taxpayer's gun, and point it to the vehicle and shoot this young lady. And you're saying to me that the law of the land don't go with him? He must be out there on frontline desk duty writing up things? The laws in this country is not for poor people. The laws in this country is for the people who can speak effluent words. But poor people must suffer in this country, remember, Jackson? Buju must be sitting, must be laying down on a fridge, and her family suffering because of what this policeman did. And you hear nothing from the Prime Minister of this country. You hear nothing from the Minister of National Security. What sort of country are we running, Member Jackson and Bishop Blair?
We're running a country that must follow the law. I agree with Member Jackson that there is enough evidence for him to be charged, that things should be moving fast and further. I'm surprised at this point, 2 days after, that we've not heard anything. I would assume that within the next day or two, it will be done, because the police force is going to want to, unfortunately, at this time, move to protect themselves rather than protect and serve the people. But I want to say something, though. I want to say something from a pastoral point of view, which is, it is time that we, the people, look at ourselves. And I earlier said that I don't want to point to the police force only. I earlier said that this behavior is tantamount to what is happening in our communities with our sons and daughters, and these sons and daughters are going to the police force, going to the churches, going to the banks, and we're going to see the same behavior in different areas. Disrespect for life. When I came back to Jamaica 15 years ago and looked at the youth work with children who were no longer going to church, I discovered that the young men had no respect for life, no respect for each other. And so, as far as I was concerned, they were capable of doing anything at any time. And as I look at Jamaicans overall, I remember seeing you and other Jamaicans in the Cayman Islands, Jamaicans who would stop at stoplights, Jamaicans who would follow the rules. Same thing in Florida. And any other major country they go to, you don't see them driving through a stoplight in Cayman. You don't see them doing the unnecessary things in that place. And it's not that Cayman is better. It's just that when they're there, and I'm sorry, Mr. MP, when they're there, they know there's going to be an enforcement of the law. And what we see in Jamaica is that the lack of enforcement and the excuses to create the lack of enforcement allows the lack of respect for law and order and the lack of love and respect for each other to continue. So the same Jamaican who stops at the stoplight in Cayman will come to Jamaica and drive through the stoplights. And that is where the problem is. I don't have the time to stop and argue a point about a police officer. As a pastor, I'm arguing the point of Jamaica. I'm the chairman of the Parents Alliance, and we have a debate competition going on for children right now in Jamaica, where we're asking children to learn to argue without fighting each other. And for years, I've been asking the governments to look at adding conflict resolution. One of the things we did in Cayman was life skill classes in schools. So kids learned more than just math and English, but were able to look at how they dealt with life. We have Jamaicans today who don't know how to. And they hide behind the cloud of ghettoism. And I'm saying if we can change those things, then we can change this behavior. That policeman's behavior is the same indecent, dirty, nasty behavior that we're going to find in and through the lives of other people. So as a pastor, that is where I make my noise. Not just at an event that takes place, but at a people who can do better, and a people, like the MP said, who stay silent when things are going, who can indeed open their mouth and get others arrested. The event I just came from looked at the fact that Jamaicans are now saying that they are satisfied with some behaviors that we never thought that they would have been satisfied with in the past. So if a Jamaican can say that they saw a killing and they're not going to say anything, it means that as a people, we are not interested in true justice. We just know how to run off our mouth when the time comes. And that is where the issues are.
Yes. Member Jackson, you have anything to comment on? Because I want to show a video here with the councillor for the area and what the councillor said.
No, before you show the video, Bishop Blair, you
Yes,
should have to try to, when they say, sorry, MP Jackson, I concur with you. I concur with you fully. You know, we have to become more law-abiding, right? And, you know, it is always better in any society. Self-compliance is usually more effective than even enforcement. But in the absence of adherence, self-compliance, then you have to have enforcement. So, but I'm fully with you.
I want to show this video here of the...
For that.
Hold on there for me.
in the Mother's Day incident,
This is the councillor for the area.
she was marked for death. Because in the Mother's Day incident, she picked up a spank shell and put it in her whatever, and then what she put it in front, and the police wanted that she never give it to her, give it to them. Yesterday, the same policeman came back and attacked the girl and said, "You remember what happened the last time?" So she was marked for death.
This is a very strong allegation.
I am telling you that the police said, "You remember what happened the last time?" So she was marked for death.
I want to apologize for the word that the councillor said. I think Bishop Bray may have family members in his vehicle. I do apologize about that. But Member Jackson, I know we don't have enough to comment on this, but your views on what the councillor just said.
Well, one, I hope that those persons who would have heard what he reported share that information with Indicom, and not only share it with Indicom, but prepare to go on the record. But there's another issue. In the case of the Stairfield young men who were killed by the police, the report I'm getting is that many persons who witnessed what took place are afraid to speak because they are afraid that the police will come back after them. And that's for that reason why I made the comment in my statement a couple of weeks ago that what is very disconcerting is that far too many innocent, law-abiding citizens are becoming afraid of the police as they are afraid of criminals. That ought not to be. Every law-abiding citizen should feel comfortable and safe with the police. And that is very disconcerting. That is very worrying. I have heard those stories far too often, that people are afraid to speak because they're afraid of losing their lives at the hands of the police if they say what they see. It is much the same complaints that I have heard, or whispers I have heard from many people who are afraid to speak about the criminals, the dons in the communities, because if they speak, the friends and colleagues of the dons will come to take them out. And I'm hearing the same thing from too many Jamaicans about the police. That parallel cannot be allowed. And it's for that reason why we call. And we will remain persistent in the call for the body-worn cameras. I hear the story being given respectfully by the commissioner about the infrastructure. Reading in the First Order this weekend about what is needed for the use of body camera. We have gotten those explanations and reasons for a long time. Why is it that everything that is needed is not put in place? And, people's intelligence is being insulted now because they're giving the same explanation for well over 3 years now. A grand announcement was made that they have procured 700 cameras and how much more they are going to be procured. But yet you have police going on operations where the cameras are absent. So there's no correlation between the express intent on the one hand and the manifestation of what is happening on the other hand. And the problem with that, Sir Jeffrey,
yes,
is that people are now forming the opinion that it is a deliberate intention not to have the cameras in operation, so that whatever the police officer does out there is not recorded.
And that is why.
And that deepens the distrust. And we can't have a society, a civil society, where there's deep distrust between law enforcement and the citizens. Is a recipe for instability. It is a recipe for the preservation of the absence of security amongst the populace.
Yes.
So yes, I welcome the reduction in murders, but it can't be at the expense of the reduction of trust between the police and the citizens. Look, let me make this clear. People will tell lie to the police. People will tell lie to cover for criminals. People will come out and bawl and say the boy is innocent. And the police kill them in cold blood. And in instances they'll be lying. And that's the reason why we need to have the cameras. So that when those community members are lying, right? Misrepresenting what took place, the police can have it as their proof.
But Member Jackson, is it that the police is taking up what the Prime Minister said, that they must go out there? And for those who are out there, is either you face a judge or face a maker?
You know, that was the most reckless, irresponsible statement coming from a prime minister. This or any other prime minister. That is a statement to encourage the abandonment of the rule of law.
But isn't that what the police are doing now, Member Jackson? They're abandoning the rule of law by doing what they're doing now.
That's the reason why the churches and you and me can't remain quiet. And even if not remaining quiet, we're going to upset some persons, then so be it. I don't mind being not liked by some people if I'm standing up for what is right, you know. I don't stand up for what I believe what is right because of how much friends I'm going to get or have or might lose. I do it because I want to have a clear conscience at the end of each day, each and every day. And if we know the thing is wrong and we don't talk and add our voice, we are being hypocrites. That's what we are being. When you know the truth, and especially when the suppression of the truth create hardships on others, then we become complicit with those hardships too. So we don't have a choice. If we are honest, if we are fair, if we are just, if we are Christian-minded.
Yes. But Member Jackson, as Bishop Blair, as he gets into us, I'm rejoining us here now. But Member Jackson, this has been going on in this country for years. I am 50-something years old now. And from I can remember, the police has been doing this to the Jamaican people for many years. When will this stop? When will the police, or when will the people of this country say to the powers may be who make laws in this country, enough is enough?
You know, we learned a very harsh lesson. We both the People's National Party and the country. At some period in the 70s, when we had comparatively high levels of crime and murder, we introduced legislation that gave the police wide powers, right? Where police went in and licked down people's place and killed them and everything else. It happened. The intent was noble. It was to give more latitude for the police to fight crime in our minds, then meaning the PNP government of the time. But in light of what we reaped, which is the deepened distrust, the lack of cooperation between the citizens and the police, it never really reduced crime in a meaningful way. But fortunately, we had the humility, we had the honesty to withdraw, to repeal that legislation because its performance was poor. I'm saying this to say, with good intention, we might do some things. But when we see that the result is as bad as it is, we must be bold enough. We must be courageous enough to take the necessary step. Because you know what happened? As we seek to build this country, our duty as leaders is to bring everybody, if not the majority of people, with us. Not some. We can't make communities across the country become fearful of their country. Because once you become fearful of the police, you have become fearful of the state, because the police represents the state. We have to take the majority of people with us. And we have to make sure that those who act on behalf of the state, the police, me myself as a member of parliament, behave in such a way free of corruption, so that we don't deny the public what is rightfully theirs for our own personal benefit and those kinds of things. We all have those responsibilities.
You know, I'm gonna bring in Bishop Blair here now. Bishop Blair, what is members of the church is saying? Not the leadership of the church, but members of the church is saying. Are they feeling safe in what is going on in the country, sir?
No. I'll say that people do feel safer. I pastor in Spanish Town, and whereas people would not want to be out at a certain time or to be in a certain area, the complaints aren't there anymore. Whereas a piece of property may have been, say, 5 million, the price has gone up because people feel safer in some areas. But like MP Jackson, I would say this has to be about more than just safety. Trust and justice are very important. I see somebody complaining and saying the pastors in Jamaica that have no use, but pastors have been preaching. Not every pastor is on TV. I remember growing up, and my father, Bishop Harold Blair Sr., as far back as I know, since 1983, has been preaching on TV from as far back as 76 on the radio regarding whatever elements there are between the political parties that affect the people every day. What we need to do, and I keep saying this, is church has got to be more than a social event. Church and the social work of the church must now be seen as something that works towards transformation of a people. And you know the work I did in the Cayman Islands. You know the awards I got, and it was not because I preached in the four walls of a church. I took out the children in the community, in my home community every Friday, in my church community every Saturday, and I spoke into their lives. Those children worked on their education and were able to step up in life. The Jamaicans that were working in Cayman as domestics at my church, I told them, go back to school, increase your capabilities, transform your minds. When I try to do that with Jamaicans here, people are a bit satisfied. Why? Because people want handouts. They want Pastor Blair's money and Pastor Blair's time and MP Jackson's money, and he'll tell you that, and not necessarily the effort to change. And I'm saying to Jamaica today, for every Jamaican that can transform how they think, the bad mind philosophy has to go. In Jamaica, one of the biggest crises we have is in the families. A lot of families that are not real families. So you have this son that belongs to that man, that daughter that belongs to that man, and this one that is a jacket. And then somebody dies and everybody fights over this property. Once we can change how we think, how we live, then all the areas become important to all of us. Certainly, I would love to see more politicians, because I've said to the Prime Minister and Mr. Jackson, you've known me well enough. I've said to Portia, and I've said to all politicians, I did not come away from all the money I was earning in Cayman to come to Jamaica to be a JLP or a PNP. I came here because I love this country. And I find Jamaicans need to find that love where they're willing to make that sacrifice. So I don't want to be told I can't do this work because I'm not a PMP or I'm not a GLP. I want people to fight for this country by bettering themselves initially and then working together to change one Jamaican at a time. If we can do that, then we can transform Jamaica. And that's what the churches are trying to do, trying to transform communities, trying to help Jamaicans to think differently, trying to get young men to work not just harder but smarter, and to increase our educational capabilities. I want to see the education system change in how we approach young men. I think we're wasting time with our young men in so many ways, and they are therefore growing up and wasting time and then becoming workers and have no work ethics. The simple things. I wish I was a DJ and I could write a song and sing it. The simple things are the things that are going to change this country, and we can do it. So a pastor's job is not just to preach Jesus Christ. Yes, I want to teach what Jesus taught. Love your enemies. Do good to others. Do unto others as you want others to do unto you. And then we can change the bad mind sentimentality of Jamaica. And that's when we get real change.
You know, I won't stay too long because I know Member Jackson had a long day in the Parliament listening to the Prime Minister speech go on and on and on and on about the NHT. And he said nothing about the young lady who was shot. But before we go, gentlemen, I want Bishop Blair, from a pastoral point of view or from a pastoral views or whatever, to say to the people of this country, or what would you say to the people of this country in this time now, in what we are going through? Because this has been going on from Wappy kill Philip and Philip dead long time. The people of this country, how many more Jamaicans must be murdered in this country by the security forces before something is done? In 2010, how many Jamaicans was murdered by the state and dumped into a mass grave in Spanish Town Cemetery? A Jamaican was assassinated on the soil of this country, Keith Clark, and nothing comes out of it. How many more, Bishop Blair? How many more of our black brothers and sisters must be gunned down by their own taxes that they pay, the gun? How many more, Member Jackson? And that's what we're going to end the program with tonight.
Well,
talk to it.
You know me once again, and you know I worked in media for many years. So I'm a very objective person, and I'm not a wagonist. So here's my story. My thing is to make that statement in a country and to ask that question to a country of Jamaican people is a very strong statement. Why? Because it is this country that we saw people stand up saying, I will die for Dudos. It is in this country where we see people running around, politicians who maybe then, not necessarily now, would stand up and fight for a party in another country. It is this country that we need to stand up now and say to these people, change your mind, change your thinking, because it is that mess that has gotten us to where we are today. Certainly, when I worked in the prison system, I learned that I could not trust even those in the system because they would frame me. They would try to hurt me as much as the prisoners would want to. But I was able to stop 3 riots because I gained the trust of prisoners. I was able to stop 3 riots in the Cayman Islands because I was able to speak to them and tell them the truth and be trusted. Can MP Jackson be trusted? Can our politicians be trusted? Can our leader of opposition or our prime minister be trusted? Can our police be trusted? Can our army people be trusted? There comes a time when, unfortunately, that's why people say pastors shouldn't get involved in politics, because the good suffers with the bad. And there are a lot of good people involved in politics, but the fight must now be that they put the past behind us. The days of The CIA, JLP, PMP, guns running, the things being done is behind us. We're building a nation with the greatest people in the world. The change must happen now. And I'm going to say something, whether the Prime Minister likes it or not, whether the leader of opposition likes it or not, any element of corruption where there is any sign of compromise by our leaders says to our nation, we are not serious about change. And it is when we become serious that people out there in the nook and crannies of St. Mary, Portland, Hanover, Westmoreland, St. James, wherever there are Jamaicans, they will only get serious when our leaders get serious about corruption and crime.
You know, before I have Member Jackson come in, you asked a question if can we trust Member Jackson. I trust him.
I trust. No, this is my
I
friend.
can tell you one thing, Bishop Blair. Of all the politicians in the country, apart from some family members of mine who are saying, anyway, Jeffrey behave yourself. This is one MP. He and member Michael Phillips. I can
Who's
pick up
another
my
good
phone
man.
and call them.
Yes.
And they give me the honest truth about anything.
Yes.
No.
I really enjoyed meeting Michael. Yes, he's a good man.
No. I want Member Jackson to come in and talk to our people. But before we have him come in, I want to say this. I said it on this program many times, you know. The change that we seek as a people in this country will never, ever come from the two political parties. We are the change we seek in this country. Member Jackson, over to you, sir. Hold on.
Respect of my own. But you know, to tell you quite frankly and humbly, I said it earlier on, I'll repeat it. I don't do what I do because of who's going to like me or how much applaud I'm going to. I do it because my conscience dictates that it be done. I don't pretend to be Mr. Perfect. I, like anybody else, have flaws, but whenever those flaws are identified, I will be the first to acknowledge them and seek to make amends. And I think none of us, as I say, are perfect. In terms of going forward and the changes, Bishop Blair, all that you said about not being PNP, not being JLP, and not being fully on board. Every country requires everybody or the majority of its people for it to move forward. We don't want a PNP progress or a JLP progress. We fight for a Jamaican progress, one that goes across party line, what goes across party and political administration. You can't expect to build Jamaica with just one party. It won't happen, right? And that's why any incumbent party, PNP or GLP, have to always seek to carry. As leaders, elected leaders, we're not there to lead ourselves or our parties alone, but the entire country. We have to try to bring the country forward with us in this whole mission of nation building in all aspects of national life, as it relates to national security, as it relates to housing, as it relates to education, as it relates to social security, as it relates to you name it. We have to carry everybody, or if not the majority of our people. If not, we're going nowhere fast. I remain committed to that mission. I remain committed to collaborating with everybody. In my own constituency, they will tell you, we don't do what we do in the constituency leadership on the basis of party. We do it on the basis of being constituents of that constituency that I represent. The same approach we endeavor to do nationally. But let us now begin to not just, with all due respect, one of the problems with too many Jamaicans, we are eloquent in identifying the problem and articulating the problem, but we are not equally disposed to pursuing the solutions that we believe our thing can. So we will talk a lot, but we do very little. And so I want to applaud those persons, those fellow Jamaicans, within Jamaica and from even those abroad, who, as I say, put the money where your mouth is, right? And do your bit. I don't believe that what I do is going to transform Jamaica. But I believe the bit that I do can contribute towards the transformation. So you don't have to feel timid or feel not really timid. You don't have to feel unwilling. That boy, only me one voice. Just put your bit towards that solution in action. And that's when we'll get the transformation. And with the participation as widely and as deep as possible, we will be able to build an inclusive society that the majority can feel a part of. That's all I seek to do. That's what my party seek to do. And we have an history. That is what we promulgate verbally. But in terms of the policies we pursue to be as inclusive, as wide ranges as possible. So we have more work to do. For those of us who believe we have been doing some, congratulations, appreciation, but the work continues and the task remain ahead of us.
Bishop Blair, sorry, remember, Justin, go ahead.
No, I want to say not just for ourselves, but for the generations that will come. As we who are here now are beneficiaries of those sacrifices made with people's lives and their blood and their sweat. We are benefiting from it. Even me as a black Jamaican sitting in parliament, it's not because of my wizardry and my what have you. I stand on the shoulders of those who fought before. That's why I am here. That's why you can even be hosting a television program. We must fight and make the sacrifices so that when we pass on, which we will at some point, those who come can say thanks to we who were before them.
Indeed. Bishop Blair, what more the church is going to do towards helping the people of this country? Because Jamaica is well renowned around the world of churches per square mile. You know?
A lot of people don't realize how much work the church is doing. The church is highly involved every single day. I can give you a simple example. I pastor in Spanish Town. I have a small salary, rather small, less than 10% of what I was making when I was back in Cayman. And I can go back to Cayman tomorrow, as I will go in 2 weeks to cover a football game because I was a sports producer. But last week, this past Sunday, about $15,000 had to come out of my pocket to assist kids to go to school. And I'm not the MP. The week before, the same. Now, that's happening with many other pastors. So we're giving of ourselves. I'm trying to say to the church, we've got to get beyond prayer. So in the groups that I'm a part of, the Watchman Church Leaders Alliance, there's action. So we're writing the newspapers. I've had 3 meetings with the Minister of Health. We had a meeting recently with the Prime Minister. We have all of these different meetings taking place. And if I could say something to my MP brother, who is a good brother, I would say to you that Jamaica needs a strong opposition party, because only the opposition party can work strong enough to hold the government fully accountable. Where the church is concerned, we are working our communities to keep our people going. I can only say pray for Jamaica. Pray, but not just pray. Be the change. Be that person. And my motto ever since I came back here is transforming Jamaica one Jamaican at a time. So that child, that elderly person, that man, we just want to transform the minds for them to be a part of the change, and that will make the difference. If we can keep one young man out of prison, out of a gang, if we can keep one young lady, by the way, when I came back here, there were 8,000 teenage pregnancies every year. Now, I want to put this in context because I don't think most Jamaicans think about it because we've become so liberal. Every young girl that gets pregnant, um, then it was 8,000, it's more like 6, 5, 7,000 now. So every 10 years, there are about 70,000 children that should not have been born, uh, belonging to mothers who care for them but cannot afford them. I'm seeing young children not going to school. I'm seeing all of these situations taking place, and I'm saying Jamaicans, think about your actions because what you do uh, touches the future of our country. Because if you can't monitor and take care of a child today, then that child is going to be pulled in by a don, and that child is going to
Yes.
become a part of a gang, and then we have crisis for those men and women inside the house to say, what do we do? It was the same thing when you were in Cayman, and they introduced they gangs started being in the schools, and we had to
Yep.
try to find ways to work around it. And the government decided, well, let's work with the older kids. And Steve Blair said no, which was my TV and radio name. No, work with the children, work with their minds, and let's bring the change. A lot of those kids that I was taking out to the beach on a Friday night to sit down with pizza and talk about their future are now working in government jobs, coaching basketball teams, and doing the things of change. We can do the same here in Jamaica by allowing people to realize you are the one who will make the difference. Don't get pregnant. Don't join the gang. Don't do the things that are not going to lead you in a positive
Yes.
direction. And then will come the change.
Yes. Well, as we end the program here, Bishop Blair, I hope the Jamaicans can get to go on the beach over here.
I
I want
hope
to say,
so because we have great beaches. Can I just say one more thing?
please, because I'm getting a wrap up signal here.
Yes, we have one of the greatest countries in the world. Can you imagine? You can go to a river almost every week. You can. Uh, my mom always says that me, who was not born here, because I made sure I haven't come here in 1976. I made sure I got my citizenship. This is one of the greatest countries with some of the most wonderful people. But for us to be that greatest nation, we've got to work to be the change.
Yes, I want to say thanks to Member Fitz Jackson, who is somebody who you can call on short notice to come on your program. And all when in tired, he's saying they come. Member Jackson, thank you very much for coming on the program, sir. I'm not hearing you.
You can always come to because I can rely on the prayers of my brother, Brother Blair. Thank you for being on the program, Jeffrey. Always my pleasure to share thoughts and in whatever way can encourage my fellow Jamaicans to just let us keep our shoulders to the wheel and try to make this place a better place for all of us.
Thank you very much, Bishop Blair. Bishop
Yes,
Blair, you want to lead the nation into a word of prayer about
I
5
would
minutes,
love
please?
to. I was going to ask you to
Go ahead.
allow me the privilege. Father, I thank you for Jamaica land we love. Eternal Father, bless our land. Open our eyes to your awesome plan for this country. Enable us to do the things to achieve that which you've given us the talents to do, to achieve all the things that you've placed within us. I pray for every Jamaican listening and viewing tonight that we will do our part to make Jamaica that country where we can live and work and plan for tomorrow. I pray that under God, our children, our young people will see themselves with a future. Our boys will see themselves being able to achieve that they are somebody, that they are talented, that they're great. Our girls, Lord, will see themselves as ladies and not garbage or things that can be just abused by men. I pray that you'll open our eyes to see the precious hand of God at work upon each individual so that we can see who we were created to be, understanding our purpose and carrying out the will and the purpose and plan of God. Bless this country. Bless our people. Transform our hearts and minds. Teach us to love one another. I pray for our leaders, our Prime Minister, and the members of the House. Lord, I pray for them that you'll give them wisdom and direction to lead us. I pray for the churches and the pastors. I pray for the media professionals that we will say and do that which is right and help our people to become the ones that you created to be members of the most blessed nation on the face of the earth, Jamaica land we love. In Jesus' name.
Amen and amen. I want you all, as we go off air, to just listen to what I'm going to play, because this means a lot to this beautiful island of ours. Until you hear my voice, I'm going to say thanks to Member Fitzjackson, Bishop Harold Blair. I am Jeffrey Tavares saying so long. May God bless you. And may God continue to bless our island home, Jamaica land we love. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to the Make We Talk Jeffrey Tavares YouTube channel. Have a good night, everyone.
As children, we learn the true meaning of being a hero. Being a hero requires great sacrifice for others, not just ourselves. We learned about the heroes of Jamaica's past and how much of themselves and their lives they had to give in building a nation we should be proud to call home. They believed in a Jamaica that was more than just a country, more than just an island, more than land surrounded by water. They believed in a dream of a free nation of people, a nation built on the foundation of their sacrifices, a nation of many people working as one, a nation that would continue to produce legends and nation builders that serve towards that vision. As children, we were also taught the national pledge, a solemn promise, an undertaking. I would like to believe Sir Hugh Sherlock, while writing this pledge, understood the vision and dreams of our heroes. It's clear being a hero is too much to ever ask any one citizen. Luckily, the pledge does not require heroics of any of us. It merely asks that we honor our heroes by striving to advance our nation and ultimately inspire the world, like they and many Jamaicans have done. It's important we remember those words. These words. like me, a Jamaican born and raised on this land, maybe you will remember saying those words, singing that song in a classroom or some general assembly. If so, like me, you made a pledge. Somehow it seems like many of us have forgotten that. The crime and violence, the indiscipline and short-sightedness, the corruption, the lack of respect for beautiful lands we are blessed with, and the waters that surround and nurtures us. We have to do better. Let us honor our heroes so that they would not have sacrificed so much in vain. I hope this video can make a difference to even one soul. If so, it would all be worth it. If you feel the way I do, share it. May my voice become yours. Thanks for watching.
Good night, everyone.
When the game gets rough and this life just seems so tough, make we talk, my people, make we talk. When this town becomes an ugly place, don't let it erase the smile from your face. Make we talk, people, make we talk. Conversation is the key, a guiding light for you and me. Spark a talk and you will see. Conflict solver A to Z. World leaders master the art of self-defense just by talk. So people, make we talk. Hey, we're living in a world that on ourselves we must depend. Make we talk.